First of all, my name ain't KP. KP is a poet, but me, I'm a poem. To whom it may concern, I am a poem. I'm a poem, and I got a life of my own. Don't need nobody else speaking for me. I can speak for myself. I'm a poem. I'm a poem with aspirations, a poem with goals in life, focused on doing more, being more. I want to be the poem you didn't like at first. I want to be the poem you weren't feeling until the third time you heard it. I want to be the poem that nobody clapped for, yet it started a conversation in the car on the way home. A lot of poems are beautiful things, but me, I don't want to just be another beautiful thing. I want to have a function. I want to serve a purpose. I want to be the poem they bring in when it's time to reach the youth. I want to be the poem that calls out other poems for not telling the truth. I want to be the poem that helps the politicians understand what the people are feeling. I want to be the poem that kickstarts your individual process of healing. I want to be the poem that gives Haiti the resources it needs to rebuild. I want to be the poem that figures out how to build data centers without destroying the earth. I want to be the poem that saves the planet. I want to be the poem that saves the planet. I want to be the poem that saves the planet like Captain Planet, like what happens when our powers combine. Nah, actually, sometimes I could be a little obnoxious. See, sometimes I want to be the poem that makes poets scratch their name off the list. I want to be the poem that encourages you to write better poems. Yeah, call me obnoxious. I'm talking poems that don't just speak for the poet writing it, but more so for the people listening, both inside and outside the venue. See, I got my own goals. I got things I want to accomplish now that I have life. I want to be the poem that's liked by people who don't like poetry. See, my goals go beyond the open mic. I want to get out in the world. I want to get out in the world and do things. I want to serve people. I want to serve my community. I want to serve a purpose. Please, please put me to good use. I want to be the poem that reminds the people that Donald Trump did not have a good reason to go to war with Iran. I got goals. I want to be the poem that reminds the people that the president is actually guilty of the same crimes that he accused the Central Park Five of committing. How 5 black boys accused of sexual assault makes the front page, while information on the president accused of the same gets suppressed away. Sins buried by the algorithm. I want to be the poem where the assassin doesn't miss when it shoots at evil. I want to be the poem where the blood comes from his chest, not his ear. I want to be the poem that makes the president tremble in fear. You ask, how much hate can exist in one poem? I reply, how much hate is allowed to exist in the country you call home? I want to be the poem that makes J. Edgar Hoover roll over in his grave. I want to be the poem where the poet travels back in time to give cell phones and AI technology to people who were enslaved. I want to be the poem where every runaway makes it to Canada unscathed. I want to be the poem that makes Malcolm X say, let me hear that one again. I want to be the poem where the bullet only grazes Malcolm's skin and 6 months later, he becomes the president in a landslide win, wearing a black hat that says, force America to have honest conversations again. I got my own goals. See, us poems get to live lives that poets could only dream of living. Us poems can travel the world without ever leaving home. Us poems can work without sleep, work without rest. Us poems can talk to you even when our authors have met their death. Once a poem is born, it never dies. Us poems are immortal, with an infinite amount of time on this earth. I am a poem, but you are a person with only a limited amount of time, so what do you want to do with your existence? What are your aspirations in life? What's your purpose? Tell me, what's your function? Who do you serve? Are you stuck on just being another beautiful thing? Or do you want to exist beyond the uploads and the applause? If so, just start by hearing me. Use me. Use me. Let me be your guide. Sincerely yours, a poem.
Really vote this whole joint?
I thought it was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G on this joint, but no.